Good evening, folks. I just want to tell y'all about my night. Well, our night. Tonight, we goes to Jersey Mike's, get something to eat. We was kind of dead set against it because 2 weeks ago, we went there and we got what we normally get. I ordered what we normally get, which is a number 55 for my daughter, which is the Big Kahuna chicken cheese steak with jalapenos, mushrooms, onions. She likes it. So when I go in to order our stuff, me and the wife, we always get a number 17, which is Jersey Mike's famous Philly cheesesteaks. So before I even ordered tonight, like I said, 2 weeks ago, they messed up our order. Charged me the full price for 3 cheesesteaks, and we only got the Big Kahuna, which was a giant, and then the cheesesteaks is like they took and cut the cheesesteak in half or something, but still charged me the price of 3 giants. So I tell them they messed up our order 2 weeks ago. They turn around, instead of giving us the other half of our cheesesteaks for free, the lady says, "Oh, I'm going to have to charge you for this." Now, keep in mind, right? Because like I said, we had another problem tonight. And the problem that happened tonight is the same problem that happened the first time. So I paid for it the first time, the other half, even though I already had paid for the giants the first time. So tonight, upon going in, the young dude that messed up the order the first time 2 weeks ago, as soon as he saw me, he was at the meat counter, which is funny. He took and ran to the cash register when there was no one at the cash register because he saw me coming. And the first time I didn't go off, as much as I did tonight until I was provoked. So tonight, like I said, he ran to the cash register. So the manager over here. So I'm like, okay, cool. She asked me how I was doing. I told her I was like having a great night. Just came to get something to eat. Okay, fine, Danny, cool. Let's get down to business now. I said, I want the number 55. Right? I said, no, I was like, before I even get you to take my order, I told her that I didn't want it to be another issue like we had 2 weeks ago. And then I had forgot that with the issue 2 weeks ago, she was the one who said I had to pay for the other half of the subs that we already had paid for initially anyway. But I remember that on the ride back home afterwards. So I tell the lady I don't want to have an issue like we had 2 weeks ago. Okay, boom. She said that it wouldn't be an issue. She would get the order right. So I was like, let us get a number 55. That's a giant. I said, I want 2 number 17s, giants. She was like, do you want that with everything that comes on them? I said, yes. Plus, I want to add some salt, a little pepper, a little oil, a little vinegar, heavy mayo. Boom. She said, I got that. Then she said, anything else? I say no. She said, are all 3 of these subs on white bread? I say yes. She writes up the ticket. Tells me I can go to the counter and pay. So I'm standing there. Now, keep in mind, I done said the young man that screwed up 2 weeks ago, he didn't even want to take our money tonight. He was trying to get away from that cash register when I stepped over there. Because he didn't want the problem. He already knew it was going to be a problem. The same way they messed up our orders 2 weeks ago, same thing happened tonight. So this time, I'm standing there. I'm like, I ordered 3 Giants. That's all I said, very respectfully. That's not what you ordered. This is the manager. Now, she already had an attitude with me from 2 weeks ago when I was telling them how we paid for something and we didn't get what we paid for, and then I turned around and paid for the other half while our other food was getting cold. So I was like, I told you 3 Giants. Now, keep in mind, it's people that was in there waiting on their subs. When I ordered, and before I even ordered, explaining this to her, was a black guy with dreads say, that man got his stuff together, because I explained to her I did not want another issue like we had 2 weeks ago. They messed up. I'm telling the lady what I ordered. She's thinking, and this is where well, Elder Renee, if you hear this, I'm sorry. Laura, if you hear this, I'm sorry. That's when all hell broke loose. Because first of all, I'm not your kid. I have children your age. And you ain't going to talk to me any kind of way. I'm a grown behind man. Let's make that clear. And a consumer that's paying good money for his family to eat. And you coming at me like I'm a slave. Rewind. No. And I've been in the food industry over 40 years. So you ain't going to come at me any kind of way with me explaining to you. I didn't have an attitude until she started snapping on me. And then I just lost it. And then when she said that, I'm sitting in the chair by the door before I got up and went towards her, like, I'm explaining it to her what I ordered. Then she says, you're being disrespectful. How am I, if we paying good money for y'all product, how am I being disrespectful when I'm explaining to you who took the order and told me and assured me you would get the order correct, that it would not be messed up? And I'm looking at the way you looking at me like I'm the scum on the bottom of your shoe or something. So I'm like, when she said that I was being disrespectful, the first words that came out of my mouth is the F, and you know the CK follow. And what you mean. Because I stand on what I say. I don't bother nobody. We ain't out here asking nobody to do nothing for us. We ain't looking for no handouts, trying to beat nobody. Whatever. Good. And normally I would tip them when other people wouldn't. Tonight for some strange reason, when I slid the card, I clicked off for the don't give them a tip just to see what happened. The young dude went and said to the manager, oh, he didn't tip tonight. We normally eat at this Jersey Mike's. And I normally would be tipping them $5, $10 for them doing their job. But the manager had a real issue with me. And then to say that I'm rude when I'm paying for a service from you, and I worked in the food industry for 42 years. Longer than that, really. But for 42, I'm going to just say 42 to keep it on the low end. But how can you tell somebody they wrong? And then when I'm telling you, like, that I'm trying to explain this to you, you're going to tell me, oh, I didn't hear that. So if you telling me now after the fact that you didn't hear that, how can you tell me I'm wrong and that I'm being disrespectful, I'm wrong, and I'm rude? When you are the aggressor. So by this time, the wife see me sitting at the table, steady, like, going off towards this lady who's like being aggressive towards me. So she thinks she could be aggressive towards me and I won't be aggressive back. I'm Ozaline Freeman's son, the last child of hers living. I will be respected. You don't like me, I don't care. But when it comes to me and my family spending our money to eat your product that I can cook at home, oh, you will respect me. So by this time, the wife comes in. Oh, Lord. I look over my shoulder. Here she, where the she come from? But I walked outside and told her that they messed up the order again. And I was loud. I can admit I was loud outside telling her. And that's how heated I was. And I was using profane language because it just ticked me off that bad. So I guess after a few minutes of me telling the wife, she see my actions because she could see where I was sitting at. She comes in there, we don't want it. Just get our money back. Don't you know they had the nerve to try not to give us our money back? Not only that, they took it one step further. Well, I'm gonna just break it all down for y'all. The lady started running her mouth. So when the wife comes in, I was like, hey, because I'm trying to keep from having the police call, which they could have called the police. I ain't scared. I don't have no warrants. And I'm going to stand my ground with the police too. With the people in the sub shop and the police. So I was like, you can deal with my wife now. So all the black people looked down and was like, oh, and shook their head. The black dude with the dread shook his head like, this ain't going to be pretty. So I don't know what, outside of what the wife told me, she said that we didn't want the subs. So she going to try to play us. They're going to refund our money for the 2 half of subs and don't give refund our money for the big kahuna, the giant. I'm steady telling the wife they ain't give us all our money back. I'm looking at the receipt, and she was arrogant enough to give my wife the receipt and only gave us $22 back. So you still owe us 20 yen. I'm telling my wife this. She ain't understanding what I'm saying, right? So I'm getting pissed. So she goes back in there and tell the lady, look, you only gave us money for 2 of the subs. You ain't give us all our money. But me and the baby had to show it to my wife like, yo, this is what they charged. So we end up leaving, right? After she gives, she puts $22 back on the card. And then I'm like, nah, they still owe us $20. Like, we ain't leaving like that. So the wife was like, she said something, so we was trying to figure out where we were going to go get something to eat from. So while the wife ended up wanting Arby's. So we go to Arby's and wait for her to get her stuff or whatever. I'm still heated because we leaving. We ain't got our food. And they shorted us 20 yen. I called back up there. I pulled the receipt out of my pocket and called back up there. Telling these people, like, yo, y'all only gave us half our money back and we don't have no sandwich. They hung up on me to hold on and hangs up on me. I called instantly right back. Osaline Freeman coming out seriously now. I call back. I say 1 or 2 words, they hang up on me again. Now I call back a 3rd time. They tell me, oh, I kept saying hello. We couldn't hear nobody saying nothing. How can you tell me to hold on, but you don't hear nobody saying nothing? Now, come on and make it make sense. And then the 3rd time when I called back, they didn't say Jersey Mike's. They said Dairy Queen. Well, Jersey Mike and Dairy Queen is in the same building. So, but I'm calling the number from that I was given from Jersey Mike's. Now, how all of a sudden, when you know it's me on the phone, oh, this is Dairy Queen. So then I'm like, yo, y'all didn't give us all our money back. What about the money for the big kahuna? Well, the sandwich was sitting on the rack. The rack is not in my hands. The rack didn't pay y'all. I did. Now I'm starting to think, since this happened, the same subs was messed up 2 weeks in a row. which is me and my wife subs. So, and normally when we go there, we see this manager always come to her car and look at us. The wife never noticed it. I have. So I'm starting to think it's a racial thing going on. I'm really starting to think that it's something racially going on because everybody before us orders was right, and everybody who ordered after me orders was right. So how come 2 weeks in a row when I come in and order, our orders are wrong? And then the lady gonna say after the third time, well, we gonna just refund the rest of the other money. How can you do that without the card? You can't do that. So now you still thinking you playing with an idiot. But let me tell you something, lady. See, your employee, the young white dude who messed up the first time, he was smart enough to get out the way. And he lined you right up. Because I am going to corporate. I am going to the news people to call you out. And I'm seeking legal counsel. So this is my thing. From a guy who's been working in the food industry for 42 years. I know how you treat people. A lot of people don't tip. I'm a tipper. I don't care how good or how bad your service is. I'm a tipper. And I tested y'all tonight when I did not give y'all a tip. And I said to the wife and to Susu that I always tip, no matter how good or how bad a person's service is. Because I know people feed their families out here like that. But then it dawned on me, y'all fixing sandwiches. I worked for Subway and Quiznos at the same time. I worked for the competition. I worked for Casey's. I mean, not Casey's. I worked for Taste of Country and K&W at the same time. I worked for K&W and Sadie's at the same time. I work for K&W and Morrison's at the same time. So when it comes to this food industry, I work for Firebirds, Elijah's, Pilot House, Blue Water Grill, Traditions, Carrabba's, Big Bear Restaurant in Sellenburg, North Carolina. I work for Red Lobster in Great Bridge, Virginia. I work for TGI Fridays. I also work for Fuddruckers. So let me tell you something, lady. When it comes to this food industry, you don't know who you talking to. Y'all making sandwiches. And then she got offended when I was like, I can make this at home. Yeah, I said it. Anything y'all put together in this building, I can make at home. I have the same equipment y'all have at my house. So as a consumer, that was wrongfully done, and then you try to trip on me, and then go try to hide at the other end of the counter around white people, they can't help you. Because if things would have got out of control, I could have easily reached right over that counter. Remember, I'm 6'3.5". And you standing right here by a meat counter that I've always worked in. I worked for Publix. Cutting meat. Sandwich meat, and worked in the butcher shop. You don't know me. It's a good thing I'm not one of these dudes that will hit a woman when a woman always trying to challenge a dude. See, sometimes parents need to take and shut your kids up, your daughters. Just like men need to shut their sons up when they wrong. And quit thinking that you better than somebody. I'm not better than you because you make a sandwich. I would never say that. That's wrong. But when we're paying good money, treat us the same way you want to be treated if you was the consumer. And if you're not going to be a good manager, you shouldn't be in a management position. So I have no choice. But as a former kitchen manager, first cook, a chef, and all this stuff, to report you and to report your company. That's why I'm posting it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest. You, in the mortal words of a famous rapper, I hope you understand these lyrics. You must learn. Y'all have a good day. That's me and the wife. And then my daughter didn't even get nothing to eat. That's how upset she was. And nothing comes between the love of my daughter and my daughter's stomach. Because I dropped my life for that little girl, just like any one of my kids. But my daughter didn't get to eat because of your negligence. Your employee was smart enough to get out the way. And you, as the manager who assured me you would get our order right, you dropped the ball. And you dropped the customer. And then keep in mind, other people who was in that store saw how rude and nasty you was being to me, and then gonna call me rude. Disrespectful. I don't gotta respect you. You ain't my mama. You ain't my daughter. You ain't my old lady. I didn't say anything out the way to you. I was explaining the order before I even allowed you to even take the order. And you assured me that you would get it right. That's just like something else I bought this week. Them people knew the parts was missing. But you allowed me to buy something just to get the buck. In my younger days, you could get away with that. I'm on my grown man. Shh. Can't do it now. I don't have to be quiet. I'm not a product of the environment. I'm no longer incarcerated. I don't have to take charges for something I had nothing to do with. I speak up for me and for my family. Just like I hope you will speak up for you and yours. And on that note, y'all have a good day and a good night. The shower might be out. Jersey Mike's. In the mortal words of my cousin. What's up, cuz?